last meeting or yesterday, we discussed about the fundamentals of the principle of counting. No, so again, we discussed about the fundamentals principle of counting yesterday, and this day we will discuss also about the permutation. So we have here our objectives for permutations. Wait lang, kay na sulod. Okay, so we have here our discussion for our objectives for permutation. So first, number one is to find the number of permutation on n objects taken r at a time. And the second objectives is for us to solve problems involving permutations. So we have here, before ta mo proceed sa permutations, kinahanglan jud nato mahibaw-an ang factorial notation or unsaon nato pag-solve sa factorial. Kasi sa permutations, natay gamiton na formula na nag-involve siya og factorial. So si n factorial is denoted by this one, the n factorial or n exclamation point, sakto? Pero, ang pagkabasa diha, kay dili siya kung n exclamation point, but that's n factorial. Ha? So, it is the product of all positive integers less than or equal to n. So, for example, we have 5 factorial here. This can be read as 5 factorial. So, ang tawag ana, kay kung sa math na siya, na siya ay 5 factorial. So it means kung saan man nato pag-compute sa 5 factorial. Pasabot ana kay gikan sa 5 paubos niya nga number i-multiply nato siya. 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And if ato siya i-multiply, 5 times 4 that's 20 times 3 that's 60 times 2 that's 120 times 1 that's 120. So ang answer nato sa 5 factorial is 120. So we can write 5 factorial in several ways. Pwede siya 5 times 4 factorial. So pila man ang 4 factorial? Ang 4 factorial mausad ng 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And pwede sad nato siya isuyat na 5 times 4 times 3 factorial. Pwede sad 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 factorial. And pwede sad 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. They are just all equal or they are just the same sila tanan. Okay. We have here an expanded form of n o ang n factorial. So if we have here 0 factorial, that is equal to 1. Our answer for that is 1. If we have 1 factorial, still our answer is 1. If we have 2 factorial, that's 2 times 1, that's 2. 3 factorial, that's 3 times 2 times 1, that's 6. 4 factorial, this is kini, and then the answer is 24. 5 factorial, this one, and the answer is 128. 6 factorial, that's 6 times 5 until 1. The answer is 720. Pang times na nimo sila tanan. 7 factorial, we have 7 padulong sa 1. The answer is 5,040. We also have 8 factorial. That's 8 times 7 padulong sa 1. And the answer is 40,320. 9 factorial kay 9 times 8 times 7 padulong sa 1. The answer to that is 362,880. And we have the last one, 10 factorial. So that's 10 times 9 to 1. So the answer to that is 3,628,800. So ingana rata when we compute for the factorial. Okay. Later sa ato permutation, ato ni siya gamiton na factorial kay ingana ang formula na gamiton sa permutations. So let's try to evaluate the following expression. So we have 5 factorial plus 2 factorial. So ano na ito pag-evaluate? So unahon na ito si 5 factorial, that's 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And the 2 factorial is 2 times 1. So we have, kini siya is 120, 2 times 1 is 2. So our answer is 122. How about for number 2? So sa number 2 natin, 8 factorial minus 5 factorial. So si 8 factorial, mao ni siya, 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And si 5 factorial kay mao ni siya. So ato i-multiply ni, ang answer ani is 40,320. Ang answer ani is 120. So kung i-minus nato siya, our answer is 40,200. Okay, so nga na ang pagka-compute sa factorial. Okay, proceed ta sa permutation. Now, when we talk about permutation, It is the arrangement of objects in which order is important. So again, pag nag-isgot tag permutation, importante jud ang order. No, natin gitawag, for example, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. So si first, dili siya pwede ibutang sa fifth. No, mo ang pinaka-importante when we talk about permutation kay order si siya. Okay? In order si siya or naka, for example, ascending order, descending order. So, importante kaayo sa permutation ang order pag maghisgot na taani. So, the permutation of n objects taken r at a time is denoted by P of n taken r at a time. So, mo ni ang ato formula when we use for the permutation. So, we have P of n, pagbasa ana kay P of n taken r at a time, that is equal to n factorial over n minus r factorial, where si r should be greater than or equal to 0, but so wala tay mga values ni r nga negative. Pwede na ay 0, pero wala tay mga values ni r na negative. But si r kay less than si or equal to n. Dili si mo greater than sa n. Pwede ra si mo equal sa n, but it will never be greater than n. So if we have n is equal to r, then p of n at r, p of n at taking r at the time is equal to n factorial. Pag ang ato r is equal to 0, pasabot that our answer is 1. Again, pag nagalitay r nga 0, ang ato answer kay 1. Pag nagalintay r na 1, ang ato answer kay n. Okay? So let's try an example here. We will have to evaluate an example here. So the permutation of 5 objects taken 3 at a time. So kinsa man ang ato n diri, that's 5. Ang ato r, that's 3. So mahimo siyang P of 5 taken 3 at a time. So again, our formula for that is NP or P, sorry, P of n taken r at a time is equal to, mao niya to formula na gamiton ha, n factorial over n minus r factorial. So again, n factorial ang ato n kay 5 man, so mao ni siya 5 factorial, n nato is 5 minus r nato is 3 factorial. So ato i-compute 5 factorial is here, 5 minus 3 is 2 factorial. So 5 factorial is just equal to 5 times 4 times 3 times mag 2 factorial ta ayaw i 2 times 1 kay para ma-cancel nato ning naa sa ubos. Okay, so 2 factorial na putay 2 factorial sa ubos, no nang ato siya gi-cancel, ang ato answer is 5 times 4, 20 times 3. Our answer is 60. Okay, next, we also have here 3 examples. Kato ako gingon kagaina na if rn is just equal to r, unsa may mahitabo. So that is just n factorial. I-try na to diri sa ato example. So we have if rn is equal to 4, then r nato is equal to 1. So unsa man ang mahitabo. So we have 4 factorial. Unsa to ito formula? N factorial over n minus r factorial. So we have here 4 factorial over 4 minus 1 factorial. So natay 4 factorial. 4 minus 1 kay 3 factorial man. So we have here 4 times 3 factorial over 3 factorial. Cancel si 3 factorial. So our answer is 4. Now, how about if R, money siya if ang ato R is equal to 1. If ang ato R is equal to 1, so ang answer nato kay N. Now, if R is equal to N, sa may ato answer. So, we have N nato is 6, R nato is 6. So, we have 6 factorial lang na siya. Nga naman, kay mahimo mo na siyang 6 factorial over n minus r factorial. Mo ba ni? Okay, so nakay 6 factorial later. Uy, tabang. Over, si n mo kay 6 man, minus 6 factorial. So we have 6 minus 6 is 0 man siya. So 0 factorial is 1. So 6 factorial na lang ang mabilin. Mumuan ang nakay 6 times 5 times 4 and your answer is 720. Now, if your r is equal to 0, what will happen? So, that is equal to 1. Ingon ta kagaina that if our r is equal to 0, ang answer nato kay equal to 1. So, dili na nimo need na i-compute. It's automatic mo equal siya sa 1 if your r is equal to 0. Okay. So we have here, find the number of arrangements of the set of the 6 letters in the word safety. So if we have here no safety, we are actually trying to arrange the set of the 6 letters na safety. So what if we have number 1 taken 2 at a time? So pila ka letters ang naata sa safety natay unom. If we take 2 at a time, so we have here the permutation of 6 taken 2 at a time. So that means Rn here is 6 factorial over 6 minus 2 factorial. That is just equal to 6 factorial over 4 factorial. Why? Because 6 minus 2 is 4 factorial man. So we have 6 times 5 times 4 factorial over 4 factorial. And then we cancel 4 factorial and then 6 times 5, that is equal to 30. So our answer there is 30. Now for number 2, we have taken 3 at a time. So paano ba yan? So we have P of 6 taken 3 at a time. So we have 6 times 5 times 4. And then, tama na to sa 3 factorial kay para makancel na to sa 3 factorial sa ubos. So, gi-cancel na to si 3 factorial and then we get the answer of 6 times 5 times 4 and the answer is 120. Now, for number 3, taken 4 at a time. So, again, same ra ang ato n ha. Ang ato n kay 6, ang ato r is 4. So, again, if we have 4, the answer is 360. Nga naman, that's 6 factorial over 6 minus 4. Sakto ba? So, mahimo siyang 2 factorial. 6 minus 4 is 2 factorial. And then, i-imo na lang siya i-compute. Okay, we also have here the taken 5 at a time. So, we have P of 6 taken 5 at a time. So, our answer is 720. Now, sa may ato answer if um, we have ang ato n is 6 ug ang ato r is 6. What is our answer here? So may ato answer ani. 1? 1 day to pag same ang ato kuan. Dari if n is equal to r, ang ato answer kay n factorial man. So kinsa may n factorial nato diri? So, n factorial na to kay we have 6 factorial. So, we have 6 factorial here. So, ang 6 factorial na to is equal to 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So, our answer is 720 sa number 5. Ang katungwa ng answer, mahitabo lang siya if r is equal to 2. Okay, and katong n ang ato answer, may tabo lang siya if r is equal to 1. But if rn is just equal to r, then we have an n factorial na answer. Okay, next. Okay, we have here mga problems na ato isolve. So number 1 is 5 persons are to be seated in a 10-seater AUV. In how many ways can they be seated? So kinsa man ang ato n diri? We have 10. Ang ato r kay natay 5 ka persons. Again, 10 ang ato n, 5 persons mo ni ang ato r. So we have P of 10 taken 5 at a time. So we will just have to compute 10 factorial, 10 minus 5 factorial. So 10 minus 5, that's 5 factorial. And then magkuanta diri sa taas ng 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6. Tutob lang ta sa 5 factorial para makancel ni nato sila duha. And kini na lang ang ato i-multiply. Kining si 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6. Tungod kay na-cancel naman nato si 5 factorial. After multiplying that, we get our answer na 30,240 ways. Let's have number 2. 10 hospitals are in need of nurses. If there are 4 qualified applicants, how many ways can they be assigned? So, how many ways can they be assigned? So, we have, ang ato N is naatay 10. Okay? 10 ka hospitals. Tapos, ang ato R kay if there are 4 qualified applicants. So, we have P of 10 taken 4 at a time. So we have 10 factorial over 10 minus 4 factorial. So 10 minus 4, that's 6 factorial. Ngayon si 10, ato siya 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 factorial kay para makancel lang nato si 6 factorial diha. So pag-cancel nato kang 6 factorial, naada dyan tayo nabili na 10 times 9 times 8 times 7. And then we get the 5,040 ways na answer. Okay, next. Okay, we have example number 3. So, ato example number 3 is again, so in how many ways or different ways can a president, vice president, a secretary, and a treasurer be chosen from a class of 15 students? So again, this is an example of a permutation because we are talking about their order. So the president cannot be the vice president cannot be the secretary. So this is in order ha. So pila ka buok ang nata? Ang ato 15 kay ang ato N kay 15, ang ato R kay 4. So we have the president, the vice president, the secretary, and the treasurer. So we have P of 15 taken 4 at a time. So we have 15 factorial over 15 minus 4 factorial. That's equal to 15 times 14 times 13 times 12 times 11 factorial lang. Tungod kay 15 minus 4, 11 factorial man ta diri. So para makancel na to sa 11 factorial and nabili na to ni siya, pag multiply na to, we get 32,760 ways. Okay, next we have number 4. A pianist plans to play eight pieces at a recital. So, in how many ways can he arrange these pieces in the program? So again, in how many ways can he arrange these pieces in the program? So, ang ato N diha is 8. Ang ato R is the same as 8 gihapon. If we have that P of 8 taken 8 at a time, we have 8 factorial over 8 minus 8 factorial. So 8 minus 8 is 0 factorial, and we all know that 0 factorial is just equal to 1. So 8 factorial divided by 1 is 8 factorial lang siya gihapon. Now the 8 factorial that we have, that is just equal to 40,320 ways. Okay, so those are mga examples for permutation. Now, we also have different specific examples or na dapat nato mahibawaan for permutation. So we have this what we call circular permutation. So when we talk about the circular permutation, this is the arrangement of objects in a circular manner. From the word circular permutation, so natin gitawag na circular manner. So the number of circular permutations of n different things is kini ang ato formula. Kini n minus 1 factorial. Pag circular ang ato permutation, naka-order si siya but circular lang yun ang iya. So ato gamiton kay n minus 1 factorial. But the number of permutations of n different things around a key ring kay pag nanagali key ring lahi pod ang formula na ato gamiton ana. So ang formula na ato gamiton kay kini siya n minus 1 factorial over 2. Kini siya for circular unsa man? Oh. After na sa klase alas 12 ra ako manawag. Oo. So we have n minus 1 factorial again is what is the formula that we will be using for the circular permutations. But if we have the key ring, so we will be using this formula na n minus 1 factorial over 2. Okay, so we have here an example. How many ways can 10 different colored toy horses be arranged in a merry-go-round? So this is an example of a circular permutation. So we will be using this formula, a circular permutation man siya. And then we have 10 minus 1 factorial, we have 9 factorial, and the answer is 362,880. Now we also have in how many ways can 9 people be seated at a round table. So we know that a round table is a circular permutation. Sakto? So we have 9 is equal to n is equal to 9. So we will be using this formula. So 9 minus 1 factorial is equal to 8 factorial. That's 40,320. Next example. A spinner be divided 15 equal parts. How many ways can you arrange 5 colors in it? So again, how many ways can you arrange 5 colors in it? So we have n is equal to 5. Okay? Again, 5 ang ato n. And then n minus 1 is 5 minus 1 factorial. And we have 4 factorial. So 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Our answer is 24. Now, in how many ways may the vertices of a regular heptagon be named with the letters A, B, C, D, E, F, and G? We all know that heptagon has 7 sides. Okay, so we have n is equal to 7, p is equal to n minus 1 factorial is equal to 7 minus 1 factorial. So we have 6 factorial and the answer is 720. Okay, next example. In how many ways can 10 keys be arranged on a key ring? So again, lahi ang ato formula nagigamit sa mga key rings. So ang ato gigamit na formula is n minus 1 factorial over 2. So our n here is 10. Diba? 10. 10 keys. So we have 10 minus 1 kaya nga to n kay 10 man 10 minus 1 factorial over 2. So we got 9 factorial over 2. So our answer is 181,440. Okay, next example. In how many ways can 8 different colored beads be arranged on a bracket? So we have n is equal to 8. And since it's still keyring gihapon si Jack kay ingon diri bracket on a bracket. 8 different colored beads be arranged on a bracket. So we have n is equal to 8. So we have n minus 1 factorial over n. That is equal to n 8 minus 1 factorial over 2. So we have 8 minus 1, that's 7 factorial over 2. And our answer is 2,520. And that ends our discussion for this